So what's up with GHAMRO, NYB?
Yeah,
Is that what?
Grandma is becoming a white elephant. Like every time there's something to say, and in recent weeks, I think this week, the interim board or the acting board led by the acting president stated that their license has not been granted. You know, when you pick license for collecting royalties, it's for a duration of 5 years. So the Attorney General is the one who hands out the license, and it's renewed after every 5 years. And for Attorney General to renew the license of GHAMRO, what it means is that there is something happening in GHAMRO that the AG seems to not accept, or they are not doing things in the right manner. Because if everything was in place, if everything was JJ, I don't think they would have been denied a license. And that isn't even my issue. My issue is the comments that the acting president, Rex Omar, came to say. He came to state that they are still going to collect royalties, but they are not going to distribute royalties. His excuse is there is no law that prevents them from collecting, but then if they distribute, that's when they'll be found guilty. But that's why I disagree with him. If you collect, you will distribute. Once you collect, you have to distribute. So it's better not to collect. Plus, looking at the law, they have no right to collect without being issued the license by the Attorney General. So it was a very bold statement, and I wondered why he's the one even saying. But it's matters of law. Usually, you allow your lawyer to come in, or even your PRO, because I know GHAMRO has a PRO, but let's be honest, Prudent, who is GHAMRO's PRO?
I don't know.
But they are paying somebody. Somebody is there that they are paying.
And Rex Omar is the face of everything. It looks like he does everything there. So
And it doesn't make sense because you have a CEO. The CEO I heard has been part of, like, he was part of the corporate office since 1983. Mr. Abraham, he's the CEO of GHAMRO. He's been at GHAMRO since GHAMRO. But here's the thing. We don't see the effect. We've been complaining. But sometimes I don't blame them. I also blame their members. Because ideally, the board and then the workers are accountable to the members. But see, we live in a country where the members don't even care about GHAMRO. They don't care about how GHAMRO makes its money. They don't care about whether GHAMRO is performing actively. Because listen to this. If GHAMRO sends you money, 200 cedis, like Prudent, if I send you 200 cedis, what's the first question you ask me? You ask me, how was I able to acquire 200 cedis with my music? But none of them will ask. Once they receive the money now that they in my pocket, but they are not going to ask, GHAMRO, how did you come about? Which metric did you use to get me these 200 cedis? Because to the best of my knowledge, there isn't a fixed price per song to this royalties that they take.
okay.
They usually take blanket money, like 2,000 for every song you play. So how do you determine that this guy's song was played, this guy's song was played? How do you determine that this artist's song was played like 90% of the time? So how do you give him the money? But that's not how they do it. They usually do it by looking at who is popular at a certain point in time. Then they try and use their own mathematics to calculate shares and all that. And that is what people have been fighting about, because there needs to be a system, a structure where a stream or a play can be determined. It allows for it to be fair. It allows for me to know that maybe my song was played 10 times in a year. So if I get 10 CDs, I agree that I got 10 CDs.
Yeah.
If I get my played 3 million times, I know if I deserve a bigger chunk. But then if you don't have a system to calculate and you just decide in your mind through your own mathematical equation to just pay me any amount, it's very worrisome. And the AG too is not ready to allow another CMO to royalty society to work in the space, because I know some people have applied, but they haven't gotten the license, and only the AG has the authority to grant the license, even if you fulfill every requirement. If the AG says, we'll give you, we'll get up, you get it. So GHAMRO needs to properly structure, and I think this is the best time they need to sit down with their members and structure a model which would make sense. Once they structure, then they now can go to the executive, to parliament, or find people in parliament to be able to pass those things into law to make it binding. You get me? But as of now, there's no mechanism for even taking these royalties, and the small ones they are taking now, they don't have a license to operate. So that's the whole GHAMRO issue in a nutshell.